Hello, folks, and welcome to F1 Championship. And of course, we are now today. Yesterday we had a very interesting race in Tier 1, and today we are here for Tier 2. And if yesterday's race was give any predictions, it would give me any predictions that it's going to be an exciting race with a lot of close battles in a circuit with a really long straight, but also is with a medium speed corner is quite difficult to follow. It's going to challenge our drivers to their absolute maximum, and I think we're going to see quite a lot of side-by-side action over here. And today I'm joined by my co-commentators, Eccentric, who did get his second podium of the season, and I'm also joined by Dipanshu, who is our streamer for today. So, guys, what's up? What are you expecting for today's week, for today's race?
Definitely after the tier 1 race, I would definitely look for a lot of battles coming up in today's race, because yeah, for sure people will be fighting, and it's not that easy to overtake, but yeah, there are two long DRS straights, so we can expect a lot of overtakes.
Yep. And since we are running a bit late on time, without further ado, let's go into our hot lap for this week.
Hitting the last corner and then quickly onto the start-finish straight of this fantastic Sochi Autodrome complex, or the home of the Russian Grand Prix. Coming out of turn 1, barely noticeable, almost non-existent. As you brake hard at turn 2, as you can see, down to 3rd, short shifting up to 4th, 5th, 6th already. Hugging this apex, that is the left-hander of turn 3, as your car completely now loads the front and brakes hard through 4. Now 4, 5, 6, 7 is quite like Azerbaijan's sector 1, the only difference being you have much more open spaces and not going to crash. But as you can see, the car goes through this fantastic 6 and 7 section, which throws you onto 8. It's going to be a magical momentum of gears through 4, 5, 6. I mean, your 4th, 5th and 6th gear through this entire section. As the car is thrown out of turn 10 onto the back straight below the Aramco board. DRS is open by now. You're hugging the Emirates right-hander, that is turn 11, barely noticeable, onto the left-hander of turn 12. For braking hard at 13, you can see going down to gear 2, short shifting up to 3 as you exit out of this section. The car is chucked out as you go through 15, 16 now. According to me, sector 3 is the most technical section of the track. Car narrowly kissing the wall over there. As you go through 17 and 18, 17 a much wider turn compared to 18, almost like Lesmo's 1 and 2, as this black Mercedes shows us exactly how to set a fantastic hot lap at the Sochi Autodrome complex.
And that was our hot lap for today. And let's see how folks today go about qualifying today. Yesterday we did have quite an interesting battle, interesting scenario where when it is a dry race, which is good news for the drivers. And yesterday we had an interesting scenario where qualifying was it started raining after 3 minutes into the session, and it basically became a session of one-shot qualifying, which is certainly quite interesting to watch.
Not that
Yep.
interesting for the drivers for sure, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep, and for driver standings, we have Charlotte in P1, Abhi 17 with P2, and we have Wavertex, who is very quickly chasing them down, with everyone else quite far behind. But looking into the field, we can see quite a lot of tire battles going on with the drivers after P3, after P4 actually turning out to be very close. And we also did have the Chris by, as we see a Red Bull jump off the pit lane for some reason.
And
But
then
among other things, we have quite a lot of drivers going on. We did also have Chris By, who left the championship to become promoted to Tier 1. So that was also an additional. That does bring something else in the equation. Constructor is really close with Williams and Ferrari, just separated by 5 points right now. And Red Bull is also in the hunt, although it might be a bit out of reach for them. But if the drivers can perform every race, then this is going to be an exciting battle.
yeah, for sure, we are running a bit late today. I guess 5 minutes late. That's why there was no countdown in the beginning. But now I'm just happy that we are all sorted out and back to, normal everything.
Yep. We have Dipanshu. I think if you can change your graphic settings to, uh, yep, the graphics option, if you can change it to windowed full screen, it will be a bit better. In video mode.
Yeah, my bad. So basically, my PC was hanged up, so it was opening the previous clicked windows, and that's why it was all tapping in mid-game.
Yeah. This should work, hopefully. We have Wavortex, who has now graciously renamed himself to Kaushik, or Kaushik was his actual real name. He has been on a really good form right now, qualifying pole position, controlling the race from the front, with and performing quite a good array of pit strategies. And I think, like if it were me, if I was to make predictions, I would say he is the prime contender for the win today.
Yeah, for sure. Like, even War Vortex is not that off pace right now. What do you think, Eccentric? Did you race with these folks a couple of times in Tier 2, I guess?
Actually, Eccentric was never there in Tier 2. He did enter Tier 1
Oh,
directly this week
directly.
for the first time.
I'm
Yeah.
not raised
It was quite funny how you called him Eccentric.
So, like, already in our server, everyone is getting confused between Electrip and Eccentric, so I just mix both
Yep.
of them.
Yep. So we have Kaushik, who has begun his lap right now, and he is going into turn 1, getting the braking right, trying to maintain a good line through that particular corner. Taking a wide line, but I think the ideal line is to stick close as much as the inside as possible. Over here, braking at the 100 meters, trying to go as wide as he can without invalidating into the next series of double right and left. So double right, my bad.
Yeah.
Yep. And this corner that reminds me of a certain corner from Abu Dhabi. We always say Tilke does use, we keep using the same tracks, and I think this is a very prime example of this. Coming into this right hand, very important to get the exit right hand, but as well as carrying maximum speed, as Washington and Nirma does set the fastest lap. As we see that, and we have Sid Kulkarni, who has also gone for the fastest lap.
There is a parked Ferrari of Harry Rocks who is disconnected from this session.
Yep, that's quite interesting. I think he may probably have forgotten change. We have Piyush Gandhi in P1 right now, but let's see what our current the man in form does as he crosses the line. Captain Cheesecake is a 131.799. Probably there seems to be some issue with the fastest lap banners are not in alignment right now.
So where should I push it? Oh yeah,
It
I
should be
can
small.
definitely see it.
Yep.
The banner, yeah.
Kaushik going 6 tenths faster than P2.
It should be to the right a bit,
First lap.
right? As well as up.
Yep. Should be smaller as well, I think.
Okay. Let's hope that this kind of fixes it. Even if this does not, next time anyone sets a fastest lap, I will come and fix it off.
Yep. Kaushik does set a 131.1, but 6 tenths ahead of P2. But of course, that just says what pace he has, and I think he'll be doing a much better time as the track improves. As this is one of the track evolution is a big factor over here.
Yeah, right now, Captain Cheesecake, who is not having that good of a season yet, but you know, he's still there in the midfield fight at the moment, as far as I remember in the constructors as well.
Yep. I think he's one of the drivers who has the pace, but has not so far developed the maturity, I would say, too, because league racing can be absolutely brutal in terms of the risk versus the reward.
Yeah, that is
Speaking of pace, we have Abhi going P1 by just over a tenth.
Yep,
Good lap from him.
it was a good lap from him, and I think that is he has also been having after his podium in Monza, he did have an absolutely brutal race in I believe Monza, and, and I think he would be kicking himself, and he would be trying to make a point here going into this race.
Yeah, what do you guys think about our most recent promotions, you know, into Tier 2 Sid Kulkarni? Right now he has invalidated, but what do you guys
He,
think about him?
he did a pretty good. He did a pretty good performance in the 100% celebrity race we had. Although that was a fun race, that most of us I was having bunch of fun over our celebration. But I think he had a really good race. He kept his head down. Although a bit of a lonely drive, but he did show that he did have a lot of potential. And I think he's going to be in that very tight and chaotic tier 2 midfield, and I'm all eyes on him to see how he performs.
Yeah, for sure. A
Yep.
slight wheel card touch or the barrier there by Rambo, who seems to be just putting, banker laps at the moment.
Yeah.
So
I think yesterday a lot of people who went for banger laps really got into a very, very tight zone.
but that genuinely helped SD to get the best strategy, be in the top
Yeah.
10 and be on
Yep.
mediums.
Yeah, I think a lot of people seeing how the strategy panned out for SD and Mara is definitely going to be having a look at that strategy as well, especially people who start below the top 10. Yeah, absolutely. We have Thermo here at 33. Thermo has made a pretty good progression from last tier 2 last season, and I think he's one of the drivers who is in form right now. I think he did have he had two consecutive point scoring positions, so he's definitely going to be high on confidence.
I think we have Madhav, left Madhav, almost finished his lap. Going through the tricky sector 3 chicane. Let's see what time he can put up on the board.
Madhav, like I believe he has fell back to the controller, but I think he was very fast. Oh, Singapore 0. Seems to be lacking a bit of confidence to the third sector.
Yep.
Yeah, especially I saw that he took a very tight line through
Yeah,
on the exit of the
yes,
last second
it
corner.
seems that he is very cautious regarding the track limits. As he takes
Over a second off provisional pole, that's very unlikely.
he must have made a mistake. We see here that Harry Rocks is beginning his lap. He did a 52 earlier, which I believe was because he spun out. But he, in practice, while I was with these guys, he was one of the drivers who did seem to have to be quite confident with the track. But let's see how he does. Through turn 1, getting the line right, not invalidating it, hugging that inside. Very tricky. Oh, I think that's right. No, he is glitching a tiny bit. Over here, breaking up the 100 meters, trying to get wide. Taking a rather conservative line. I think I saw Vortex take a much better line through there. Setting purple, no. So setting green sector 1, 1/10 of Kaushik, B17 right now. And over there, attacking that inside sausage curve. Let's see how he does over there. Attacking here as well, but it doesn't drift too wide. But he drifts.
I think there is a bit of lag from Harry Rock's internet side, so that's why we are not getting the exact lines that he's taking.
Yep, exactly. But let's see what time he does as he crosses, as he ends his sector 2. 6 tons off pole, but that should be good enough for P3 right now if he can hook up his third sector. And now over here, these two important to avoid the curbs as they unsettle your car so much. And see the straight, trying to get early on the power. Let's see now going into the penultimate corner. Let's see how he does. I nearly thought that was invalidation. Over the final corner. Goes P5. Looks like he lost a lot of time in the last sector. But Electrip here doing really well. I think after this, he was very close to a podium in Singapore, and he's definitely going to be looking to make the most of it going into this race. Yep.
We missed his P4 lap. That's a really good lap from Electrip.
Yep. Sid Kulkarni right now in P7. Outlap.
Piyush Gandhi in the last sector.
I think Piyush Gandhi is heading his final first lap on the softs in P9 right now, but let's see where he does. Crossing the line, he goes P3. Quite interesting.
So that's a very good lap.
Yes.
I mean, 3 tenths off. That's very good.
Did any banner come up? Is the banner location fine?
It's better. It's better now. I think it works. It's a bit. It should be a bit more to the right, but I think that works. This works for now. Yep. PK19. He did have a late join to the session, but so far not getting to grips with this track. Penalties are extremely like a big issue over here. So let's see how it goes.
I think PK19 invalidated his lap.
Really struggling with track limits right now. But interesting. A lot of people like Will Siji, who recently got promoted, has not set a lap yet, so I believe they did have their previous laps invalidated. Yep, we have Rambo over here, who has now set 2 personal best sectors. Let's see how he does going into the final corners. All of them attacking that inside curve quite a lot. And that's P8. Very interesting. He isn't joined by his teammate right now. I believe he is having some issues with his internet, but let's hope he can join soon enough. Dawn on the in P2 on the cusp of elimination, and he seems to have invalidated his lap so far and is not in personal best. His teammate Piyush Gandhi returns to the pit after setting P3. Uh, I'm not sure. Has Bobotek set a lap? I think he has not improved so far, and Abi17 is opting
He is
to.
going to start his lap. He's in sector 3 right now.
So
He's diving
He's
into
coming
the
into
pits.
the pits.
come into the pits. I think this is around the point where we see a massive increase in that track evolution, and I'm pretty sure drivers will be looking forward to set their lap as late as possible. Now we have Thermo on a hot lap. Let's see how he does going into turn one. Ooh, getting his rear all out of shape. He's going into the braking zone. Now coming into this double right-hander. He has a bit of a moment on the entry. Now going into the next right-hander. Very important to carry a lot of speed through these corners. Takes a very conservative line, making sure to be within those white lines. And going into this corner, attacks it in sky curb, gets a tiny bit unsettled into this one. Very important to get a really good exit. Seems to have focused the line more on medium speed, but I think nevertheless a good effort. He did not have a personal best first sector, but let's see how he does crossing into the second sector. He does improve. He is 1.7 seconds off pole right now. Into the third sector now, very important. Your tires are now leaving you as they are now heated up. So really tricky in qualifying to get a good lap through here. And over here, important to avoid those curves which are literally lava. And now into the penultimate corner. Doesn't attack the curb as we have seen so far this session. Into the last corner, he's out of VRS and he improves the position to P14 with a pen in P15.
We have our championship leader on a lap. I think there's a lot of pressure on him
Yep.
to get up to the get close to our lead.
It'll be very important for him to set a lap that is good right now because I'm pretty sure he does not want to be in that traffic right now.
P8 is not going to help his drivers or constructors championship.
He's 1/10 down on a B17's time as he finishes sector 1. Now coming into sector 2, who doesn't attack the curb like we have seen so far, but managed to keep it valid. Not attacking the insides. But let's go. Coming into this, let's see how he nails his exit. Pretty good. Ooh, but gets a bit of a wiggly moment on the exit there.
One thing I've noticed is he's not going that close to the walls.
Yep.
So I'm
he
not
is.
sure why.
I think he is being very conservative right now. I would say he's 6/10 off P1 right now, but that will still put him up. But let's see how it goes to the third sector.
That's not a good lap from Madhav.
Yep. He is. I believe he is not confident in attacking the track limits. Basically, he seems to be very conservative. I think he is out of the laps we have seen. He is second most conservative after Thermo.
E6.
So
E6,
one thing I
4/10.
just noticed, seeing the timing chart. So we have, I think, at least the first 6 drivers within 5/10 of each other.
Yeah, actually, all the 8 drivers separated by a 10th each.
Yeah.
Okay. Eccentric, I think you need to invite Harry Rocks.
Okay.
And we have Deepak Raj, who is on the medium, so I'm quite interested to see what his plan is for this race.
Maybe he's just thinking that, after watching yesterday's starting chaos, is expecting a similar chaos today. Let's just start at the back and, wait for the chaos to unfold in front of him.
Yesterday we had an absolute stellar incident. I saw with the 2 runners coming, and the incident basically was the cars literally parted ways for them. That's how it was.
Yep.
Yep.
We have our T2 minute Kaushik on a lap and going into sector 2. I think this is his last attempt. So
I think Abhi has left the pits too late right now because he just left the pits. I'm not so sure if he can actually make it to start his final lap, but let's see how it is. But Kaushik has improved right now, and I think this should be a pole lap if he can keep this last sector together. Looking really confident through that very tricky chicane. He is, of course, one of those drivers who are looking to make a lot of progress going into next season. And I think that's going to be 9. Oh, and he invalidated. He invalidates on the last corner.
That is painful.
Yep. So that is
Okay.
yep. That is so unfortunate for him.
Yeah. The big whole lap right into the last second.
Yep, absolutely. But
That's the conflict.
that definitely gives some breathing room to Abi 17. But because he did start quite late, and I can see him round about sector 3 right now, and it looks
Yep, I
very
think he
close.
should reach the line.
Yep, but
I
it
think he
looks
should
really
reach the line in time.
really close. So if he can go aboard him in his final lap, then that would be great. If he does make it to the
Yep,
line, let's see how he does.
it's 5 seconds to go.
Yep, and over the line, the other is wide open. Let's see, going into turn one, a very tricky corner to take. You need to carry a lot of counting speed as well as keep up the exit. But he does have a Mercedes ahead of him who might be giving him a nice slipstream. Second as much as inside as possible over here, breaking nice and staying conservative basically. But he is up on his time by 800s right now. But that Mercedes is lurking on him, and it's quite possible that I think it's a Mercedes upper pin, I believe. It is quite possible he will move into the Turkey territory, but it'll also give him a slipstream as he goes really wide. And I think, oh, but he does keep it valid. That's quite interesting. Now coming into the last corner, stays conservative once again, but
Please, can you invite Faiza?
Yep, I'm on.
and he is 2 tenths down. Looks like that small incident did cost him quite a bit, and I think having a weapon on his lap right now is not helping him any tiny bit. As Wilster G's goes pole with a 30.9, but he does end up crashing on the outlap. But let's see how Abi 17 does crossing over the line. I don't think this will be an improvement, and he goes pole, and he improves by 4 tenths in the final sector. So an absolutely mega lap, and I think we also have Aberpen who improved to a 30 P8.
Yeah, like towards the end, Abhi just pulled his all his stuff together and just went for it.
Yeah, he threw it into sector 3 and it stuck and came out pointing in the right direction. And he got his reward by pole with by 38.
I think Boward should be absolutely kicking himself right now. He thought the lap was done, but then ultimately invalidated his lap time on the final corner. So I think that does break his string of poles he has gotten so far, and I think it's going to be an interesting race to watch from here on.
Yeah, but championship leader starting from P7, which I don't think he'll be happy about that at all. I think he would have wanted to start in the top 3 or close.
I think the top two people, they literally started their laps in the last moments, and they literally benefited from the track involvement, I feel, because the top two were literally clear by 3 tenths from the third position. So I
I
am not
think
sure.
track solution helped a lot in sector 3 as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why Happy could improve that much.
For sure, and now we wait for the drivers to ready up. We do give a 1 minute time for all the drivers to think about their strategy, although it's just a simple soft mediums,
Yep.
unless you have some unfortunate incidents. I have a question for you guys. Say yesterday you had an incident in, say, the second lap or the third lap on your softs, and considering that there were no safety cars, what strategy would you
They
have
have an
followed?
early ready up from Cheesecake. That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
That's a really early ready up, but nevertheless, coming back to the question, I'm
So I
sure
think
our stewards will have a look into the early ready up. But yeah, coming back to the question, what strategy would you guys have fallen back to? Because we know that our top 10 here are on the softs. Unfortunately, if someone gets that, gets into some incident, what do you think they should go on to?
I think the mediums softs looks like a really good strategy. If they can keep it in the DRS in the soft runners ahead, they will definitely gain time. But among other things, I think the fuel load you carry will be important. I think this is one track where having a lower fuel load does help you quite a lot in your corners.
So,
But it's looking quite spicy right now.
so would you suggest going on to a medium after lap 3 pit, or would you suggest a hard?
But you're saying if there's an early safety car? Okay.
No, not the safety car. I mean, like, say if you break your wing or some incidents happen, then.
I think I would more lean towards going on the mediums and try to extend it to the end.
You know, yesterday, because of the early safety car,
If even if it's an early safety car, I would probably stick to the same tire if you don't have damage.
yeah, for sure. But we saw some people dive into the pits who were medium runners, thinking of a soft strategy. What do you think about that? You know, like safety car in the first lap, dive into the pits, get a soft, and then go for 10, 15, 10, 12 laps, go on to another soft, go for 10, 12 laps.
It's quite interesting. Yep, we do have Faizan, who seems to have been lost because he had a power cut and couldn't join back in time. So quite unfortunate him. Let's have some Fs in the chat.
Yep.
Yep. Among other things, so looks like RB17 is focusing on heating up his tires.
Was he
He
there in the quali? Was Faizan there with us in quali?
No, he didn't make it into quali.
Okay. Yep, let's have some Fs in the chat. That's really unfortunate, you know.
Yep, really
Uh,
unfortunate.
There are so many factors that come into league racing. That's
Yeah,
not only one factor, you know. I have spoiled some of my races because I just got a call from either my parents or my friends in the middle of a race, and then I have to go pick it up. And if you just go off on AI for like even one lap, after you come back, you will be surprised by the tire wear or even your ERS that you have left in the bank. The AI just depletes it like crazy.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Sometimes AI can hit it when you don't want it to.
Yep.
Or masters.
We did have 2 disqualifications on the formation lap. That will be BK19 and Dawn. We did not catch the incident, but they will be sitting there with cold tires. Not sure what tires they are on. Yeah, both are on soft, so let's see. And 5 lights are out, and we wait for another 5 seconds because Cody's does not decide to fix this bug. And now maybe now. Okay, the drivers are revving up, so probably yeah. And
Oh, and
we
yeah,
go.
and there we go. As we see a McLaren get have wheel spin as the Ferrari of Harry Rocks goes into the wall. But Vilsaji gets an absolutely blistering start as into P1 as Vortex has fallen back to P4. But what is it? But RB17, oh my god, he gets. Ooh, he for a moment it looked like it turned into Vilsaji, but he gets him back into turn 1 and is now in P1 again. But over there, Vortex falling back from P3 to now to P9. And I have no idea what's happening. He is completely under attack from everyone. He just got absolutely swamped with Charles Leclerc now all the way down to P10, losing 3 positions. Washington under my teammate has gained 3 positions. Very unfortunate for Harry Rocks, who has lost 10 places after that wheel spin on the start. Soham Day up 4 positions, Thermo up 2 positions, and Seth Kulkarni has also lost 3 positions. So a definitely interesting start with Dawn also losing 5 places to be in P16 right now, and it's going to be quite difficult to climb up the field. But among other things, the top 4 of AB17 will see Captain Cheesecake, Aberpen, Piyush Gandhi, and BK19. And it seems Rambo is going for a move on BK19. If he can go to P7. Nope, he does not, but seems to have thought better of it. But everyone's so close right now, and there seems to be the biggest gap I can find is between P10 and P11 right now.
I feel that Harry Rocks got a bit of throttle eager, you know, and just slammed on the throttle there, and probably on the start got some wheel spin, and his car just went to the right.
Yep. We have RB17 crossing the first lap in P1 right now. But among other things, Vilsaji is still on his tail, and DRS will be activated in a lap's time. But over here we know that penalties are often more important than than actual pace here, and that could ultimately decide this race. As we see Sonde jockeying around Washington Nirma, but Washington Nirma is on the mediums. But let's see. But so
Very poor start from Kaushik and Shalala. Shalala losing 3 positions.
Yep.
Kaushik losing 5 positions. That's
Yep.
not where they want to be.
Yep, Abapin seems to have now fallen back, and I think he will be next lap. He will be falling under attack from Piyush Gandhi as AB17 does get his first penalty of 3 seconds. So definitely not how we wanted this race to start, but let's see how it goes.
Apparently, it would be a huge factor in this race today.
Yep, absolutely. And we have Wilster G, who's now still chasing him. Captain Cheesecake chasing him once again. Harry Rocks has now boxed with the Hearts, and we have. Right now, the field seems to be quite spread out, but I can notice some gaps between P6, P7, and P3, P4, and P12, P3 right now. But right now, we have Kaushik and Shadalurk right now on each other's tails. But they will be hoping to get a move done on Electrip soon enough.
Actually, I think Kaushik already got the move done on Electrip in the last lap, but Electrip got that move back in the second sector of this lap.
Yep. Yep, probably right. And I think we can see that a lot of drivers are struggling with dirty air as they are just drifting.
And Don has lost his car.
We have Don without an end plate.
Yes, we have DRS that's been enabled.
We didn't catch but I think Don has spun out on his own or had contact with someone. Sure.
Yep, Wilson G setting the fastest lap now. Now he does have DRS right now, and I think that's definitely going to work towards Abhi. And I think since now Abhi 17 has a penalty, Wilster will be quite careful to not get a penalty to ensure that he does not get another penalty. But yes, anything can happen in this race. Charlotte and still in P10 right now, and right now, can we go on board? I think this is a close gap. I think let's try going on board DK Rambo, who will be launching a move towards BK90 for the next DRS straight, but he is on the mediums right now and he seems to be losing quite a lot in the corners. But of course, all of this will come back if he can keep it together in a soft stint.
DRS is helping Electrip out because he has 2 drivers behind him who are ready to pounce whenever he makes a mistake.
We have lap 3 and we have Electrip with the second time penalty as Harry Rock seems to have at another moment as has now lost a wing.
I think he was in battle with Deepak Raj, but I'm not sure what exactly happened there between them.
Yep.
It's very unfortunate for Harry Rocks.
Charlotte has been, I noticed in quality as well, he has been struggling in that chicane primarily. Like he is really struggling in that particular chicane to, to get to grips with. I think that is Achilles' heel in this particular race. Kaushik looking really good, but right now with this DRS train, it's going to be very difficult to get a move done. You need balls of steel, I believe, in order to get a move done. But you have Electrip now going for a move on Rambo, and he gets that move done. But I think that's a warning. But Rambo comes back at him. Will he take the inside? And he switches back to the outside. Will he go for it? But can he get the move done on those mediums? And I think I saw a McLaren wing that just flew off. Yep. Somebody definitely got damaged. Was it Rambo?
BK19's wing. BK19 does not have a left front wing.
BK19 does not have a wing, and we can see Electrip making moves on BK19 there because he's
our very own Fanatec boy finally showing what he can.
Tries to make a move.
Starts to make.
Okay, sorry for the minor hiccup that happened there, but we are back online.
Are you streaming it?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Copy. Yep. Sorry for the minor hiccup, guys. We are back. Hope you guys are still here.
While we were gone, we had a battle between Rambo and Charlotte, and Rambo closed the door on Charlotte and caused him to spin. That's why he's all the way back in P11 right now, closing up to the back of his teammate.
If you can have interesting into lap 7, we are having quite a clean race, I would say. If you can have a look at our penalties, quickly.
Sorry, my bad. Yep.
So far, relatively clean race, I think. With all the drivers having 3-second penalties, of course, the leader would definitely be concerned about the collision, given that It's breathing down his neck, but let's hope he can keep it clean going into the next set of corners. We have Soham Day, who is now chasing Rambo, but Rambo is on the mediums, and this is the time when the softs uh, would be like soon enough going off their life, and I think he will be falling into the clutch of soon now.
Yeah, for sure. Can you guys just let me know if the telemetry is all working fine?
Yep, it's perfect.
Yep, they're all working fine. Pretty
Okay.
good, actually.
I guess I will have to wait for the intervals to come because otherwise
Yep.
I don't know which battle is how close.
Yep. Propi, if you can readjust the event banner because that is now coming over. We are back to the earlier issue we had.
Okay. Why
Yeah.
does it
Oh,
keep...
we have Cheesecake who spun out from P3 at the end of the last corner.
Ooh, that's quite
That's very
unfortunate.
unfortunate. He was running P3 and he was doing very well. He's down in P9 and losing more places and has no front wing as well, to add to his misery. Because we have Deepak Raj who has retired. Oh, he's retired at the end of turn 2.
I
What
think there is
happened
a safety car, if I'm not wrong.
No.
there? It's a VSC. VSC.
It
Okay.
looks like a VSC.
But the game is not showing me anything for some
Yep.
reason.
Yep. Yeah, I think it doesn't show all the time. Oh yeah, we
Yes.
do have.
So I had to just alt tab and
Yeah,
come
all
back in.
that. Yes. I think Abhi 17 is going to be really cautious right now because he did get a drive-through under the BSC in Singapore. West Cheesecake gets the time penalty which I am for speeding in the. Oh, he's for multiple warnings. It's very interesting. Under BSC.
Harpan has a drive through. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yes.
Running in
Aburban has a
P3.
drive through.
It's so easy to get caught out. It's so easy to get caught out under safety car conditions. But we are back
Yeah.
racing now, and Winster seems to have gotten really close up to the back of Abhi 17 right now. But this does give Abhi some breathing room because this allows this allows him to recharge his ERS a tiny bit going into the next lap.
For sure. Should we have a look at the ERS levels?
Yep.
I'm not sure why Winster is sitting with 100% there. At this point, it just feels like, Winster is toying with B.
Yeah.
Not gonna use my ERS. I am very patient. I know that I can just throw it off in one lap.
I think if I were him, I would overtake him on the in lap of when he's gonna pit. So it's pretty smart
Propi,
of him to.
if you can move to the leaders gap, you can see where these guys will come out once they do move on do their pit stop.
Do you know the shortcut key for
It's G.
Oh, G. Okay.
Yep. So if Abhi does box now, he will come out ahead of Aberpen. So I think that's a good that's a good gap right now if he can like make the best use of it.
Yeah,
Wilster
Aburban.
could go for the undercut as well.
Yep. He will come out just ahead of Monk.
I still don't understand why they're still sitting at 100%.
Yep. Yep.
At least a second gap.
Yep, I
Has he
think,
forgot to bind his overtake button for some reason or something?
yeah, yep. I think let's stay with the leaders gap. I think right now with the pit window coming up, I think it'll be very important to have a look at that. But interestingly, most of the medium soft runners who are on have now crashed out and has been forced on to go to the mediums, as we do see Abhi 17 now going into the pit stop.
Yep, I think this is where Wilster has to use all of that 100% and try to prevent the undercut.
Oh yes, he
And
is.
yes.
That's what he was
Overtake has
saving
been
his.
banded.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. But let's see
Medium
where
tires going on
Yep.
for Abhi.
Yep. But let's see where Abhi does come out. Among other things, quite surprisingly evenly spaced, I would say. I thought there was a larger gap here, but let's see how things do go. But let's see where Abhi comes out. It'll be very important for him to avoid traffic. Going over the line, he seems to have come out just ahead of Monk, but let's see if Monk does get the move done. But of course, Abhi
This
will
is
have
very close indeed going to turn 2.
Yep, absolutely. Oh my god. He does get a penalty on
And Abhi having to cut the corner to prevent any contact from Monk. They're still going side by side into turn 3.
Yep, absolutely.
And I
But
think Monk is out ahead, which Abhi will not like at all.
but Monk seems to be fighting right now, but that's kind of stupid because it loses him. He loses his own time as well, but he also like loses time to everyone else.
Yep,
So
that's
quite
really important for Abhi to just overtake him there.
yep, absolutely, quite important.
Now it's time for Abhi to use all this overtake that he had saved up, if he had saved up any.
Yep, but I think he would now have a lot of overtake to work with. But let's see how much time he can gain on Wilster. I think Wilster himself is
Yeah, Wilster still on 92% ERS.
so not using that ERS right now at the moment. So quite a lot of battling going on right now.
It's looking pretty good for the Williams. P5, P7 at the moment how it stands. But yeah,
But they will need a pick soon enough.
surprisingly,
Yes, washing
Wilster
powder in
did
the
not
past few races had not stepped up. Now he's running P7 on the medium, so that's very good.
Yep, absolutely. I think he did show some really good pace that was very close to the front runners. So let's see how it goes. Wilster is opting to stay out another lap, but let's see how it goes. Pierce Gandhi has now boxed for the medium right now, because this being a very low degradation track for the soft medium, it's opting strategy. Oh, and Kaushik Plus at the fast lap 35-1. Pretty good effort, if I should say myself. I think yesterday in Tier 1, although it was overcast conditions, we did see similar lap times. But he'll definitely be looking to charge forward the field, and he has 6 seconds to make up on Abhi. But Abhi is now very quickly catching up to Rebel. But I think he has 6 seconds of penalty, and that's definitely not helping anyone right now. Okay, let's go.
Yep, Abhi has 6 seconds at the moment.
Abhi is the closest battle we have right now. And I see going into the DRS, so would love to get past Rebel, and I think it should be a fairly easy move considering he's on
Much
brand new
better
tires.
overtake, much better exit out of that previous corner as well.
He fresh mediums with a 10 lap old medium. We're seeing that difference right now show up.
As we see Wilster dive into the pits, be very interesting where he comes out.
Yep. He did pit 2 laps, but the question is like how much was he able to use those tires in that tiny gap he had.
I think Abhi might get him.
Yeah, that's quite
Is
possible.
Wilster being held? Was Wilster held?
But
No,
he's now heading
did not
right
seems-
into the back of Washington and Nirma, who will also have, who is also a teammate of his main championship rival. So that's definitely going to be an interesting battle. But Wilster does go ahead. But the question
Yes, Wilster has come out ahead of Abhi and quite a bit ahead actually.
Yep, I
There's
think
a car in between himself and Abhi.
that kind of shows the amount of time he lost while battling Monk. But of course, let's see. But now it will be absolutely crucial for Wilster to overtake Abhi. I mean, Seth Kulkarni.
If Wilster should overtake Sid Kulkarni and drive off into the distance, as Abhi will have to overtake washing powder Nirma as well. We see him using his overtake.
Oh my God, that
Oh, and heel to wheel right there.
that's a very
But
bold,
Abhi
very
comes
bold
out
thing.
ahead.
I'm saying so myself. But
Yeah, I would have just backed off from there if I would have seen my wheel touch someone else's car.
Yep, absolutely. But as it stands, Wilster does get past Sid Kulkarni, and I think Abhi and Washington seems to be coming back on Abhi as well. But he is out of overtake. But let's see. Now going into the third sector, VRS should be absolutely crucial.
For some reason, Abhi also has very good grip.
We have a yellow flag in sector 2 and Kaushik is dropping back. What's happened there? What's happened to Kaushik? Oh, and he's spun. He's spun out. Go on,
He
go ahead,
seems
Kaushik.
to
And he's
be-
lost the wing as well.
Yep.
For good measure.
Yeah, that's an end plate gone.
Yeah, I think that's his race over and done in 13 laps. Very unfortunate for it. He was doing very well. As we see Abhi going past Sid Kulkarni into turn 2, using the DRS and getting the move done before the braking zone.
He almost tapped the rear of Sid Kulkarni. I think even Abhi was surprised by the amount of speed he was gaining because of the
Yep.
DRS. But all this battling with Sid Kulkarni helped Wilster to create a 1.5 seconds gap. So he has pretty much pulled off from the DRS of Abhi. Now all Wilster has to do is maintain that gap and hope that Sid puts on more pressure on Abhi from behind.
I think as it stands, his main championship rival is not is not going to outscore him with the current gap. I think Abhi's focus would be completely on trying to make sure he does not end up ahead of him.
Yeah. Plus, adding to Abhi's misery, he has his 6-second time penalty compared to Wilster's 0 seconds. So, if he is going to make an overtake, it should be done really quickly so that he can pull away those 6 seconds.
Absolutely. And as we say that, we have Charlotte, who is right now stuck behind Soham, who did pit a bit early. I'm surprised that Charlotte pitted quite late for those mediums, though. Pitting around lap 12. But he is not going for the move, but decides to back out. I'm not sure. Soham keeps the inside. Was not committed enough into that move. I feel backed out, but then thought he'll go for it again. Not sure what happened there, but seems to be taking things extremely cautiously. As we see him once again struggle in that off-camper chicane.
He's struggling to put the power down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this should be an easy move going into the next corner with 78% ERS and DRS, turning it well before the DRS detection zone to get the move done. Will he get the move done? Will he go for the inside or the outside? Soham Day defending the inside, leaving just enough space. But let's see who is ahead going into turn one, and Madhav does get ahead. But Soham Day seems to be coming around the outside. Not sure if he's going for a move there, but doesn't seem so. But definitely a good race for a championship leader.
And next car ahead is Electrip 7 seconds ahead, so he'll be looking
up ahead we have Bilster, who is now slowly approaching into the back of Rambo, but I think Rambo should be pitting soon enough. The looks of it.
He has increased the gap to Abhi to 2 seconds as well, so Bilster doing very nice. Bilster going very nicely indeed.
Absolutely. But Bilster is right now pulling the gap. I think he has finally begun to use his ERS advantage to pull a gap right now. But he is right now on the back of Rambo. Let's see. I think we'll see if he does go for the move going from.
I think it's too far away.
Yeah. He's definitely going to lose a bit of time relative to everyone else behind him who has boxed at this point.
As the penalties continue to rack up, was lap 7, I think only 2-3 people had penalties, and now around 9 to 10 have penalties.
I personally feel it's tougher. It's easier to get penalties in the medium stint because you have less grip available despite the fuel load.
I think even they'll be pushing a lot more, considering there'll be people overcutting and undercutting, and you're losing position.
Absolutely, but so far this this race seems to have settled down. I think I can see Cheesecake going for a move on PK19 in P11.
Yep. People have to wait for the second DRS strip, but yes, he's closing in very quickly.
See if Wilson does get the move done on Rambo, but Rambo is out of ERS at the moment.
Rambo should be pitting now.
And Kaushik is the fast lap once again, but I think he is on softs right now after his last spin. And as it stands, Rambo is now falling out. I think it is very crucial for Abhi to get the move done in the next lap itself.
Yeah, I think Abhi should get DRS. Yes, he is within that 1 second, so that should be a couple of tenths gained.
Yeah, we have Piyush Gandhi as well, but he seems to be a bit too far, I guess, for the move. I'm not sure. Yeah, he is a bit too far.
Washing powder and old mediums shouldn't be getting as good an exit as Piyush Gandhi, but yes, he is a bit too far back.
But Piyush himself does not really have the overtake to make an easy move on him right now.
Or as we can say, not enough juice.
Right on the back of Big N19.
Yep. I think he'll go for the move on the second DRS street. Electric boxes. Not sure.
Yeah.
Like the boxes having a really bad run. As Abhi 17 does get his third penalty, and that brings the whole total tally up to 9 seconds.
Yep, I think his chance of a race win has gone with that.
Yep, and I think that brings Piyush Gandhi into podium territory.
Yeah, we'll not talked about Piyush Gandhi. He's nicely running P6 with people ahead of him who's yet to quit with 0 penalties as well.
If you can go to the leaders gap, I think leader gap to the leader, I think we'll be able to judge things more clearly. As it stands, Piyush Gandhi is exactly 9 seconds between Abhi and him, so it is quite close between the two.
And I think Abhi will be. And I think Abhi should not push as much right now because I think the smarter thing to do is keep it at 9 seconds, keep it ahead of Piyush Gandhi,
Yep, exactly.
and
But
end up in P2 because your championship rival is anyway all the way back at P7.
yep, absolutely. But it seems both Dawn, Kaushik, and Vavortex are having absolute hells of the races right now, as they have now fallen all the way back down. So definitely, like things did not go for them as they planned it to. Among other
Yeah.
things, oh, and it seems Rebel has gone into the pits. So I think he had an incident, has now gone into the pits right now.
Yep, Rebel has no win.
Okay, so I guess he did put on some. I think he was in the mediums and he boxed to the softs, and then after that, my guess is that he did not have what do you call when he was trying to overtake, he probably got damaged.
Yep, he's on only one lap full stop, so his damage was pretty recent.
Yep.
And after the pit stop, very unfortunate.
Washington and Nirma has boxed and has now come in P11, so he's definitely in a good position to finish in a point position if he can keep it clean and overtake the guys ahead who are now running on very old softs right now. So I think Sid Kulkarni would also be boxing soon, as he is now he has now run really long on those particular sets of mediums. Among other things, this race seems to have.
70 and only catching to Wilster. Reduce the gap to 1.2 seconds right now.
I think it would be nice to see what ERS the people are running at right now. Of course, we know that 9 second gap in 10 laps is pretty much impossible to make up for, but we never know what happens. Sid Kulkarni has boxed finally. Interesting to see why he stayed out so long to box to the mediums, though, to the softs, though. But this releases Piyush Gandhi, who I think is around 10 seconds, and if he can make up that 1 second to Abhi 17, he is in prime P2 territory. But Abhi 17 is catching Wilson ever so slightly now. And he's approaching that DRS straight. So if he can go on board, we could see the DRS.
He is inside the DRS zone.
Wilster is still
Very
not.
good pace from Abhi.
Yep. Why do we feel that Wilster does not have his what do you call his ERS button engaged?
Yep, I
He
think
actually
this is like you.
he actually used ERS when he had to do the in-lap thing, but yeah, apart from that, he is not at all using. Just
Yep.
bear
So,
with me for a minute. I'm just checking something, but yeah.
Yep, no worries. I think Wilster should be using that DRS because he's allowed Abhi to use his ERS and get into the DRS zone of him. I don't really know what Wilster was thinking there. Yes, 100%. He could use like around 5-10% on the exits of down the straights, and that would actually gain him a lot of time. Right now, let's see what happens. How Wilster defends with that 100% ERS.
yep, absolutely. So
Yep, my bad. I think my power was about to go again, so I had to do some.
Yep, we have Abhi making a move down the inside at the end of the pitch straight, and he gets the move done. So now Abhi will be looking to pull out that 9 seconds.
yeah, but
And hopefully Wilster uses his ERS to keep in the 9 seconds.
yep, now Wilson, now finally I see him using his ERS. So it's been such a long time. it's. I think those pixels on his screen would have been finally seen some light to see some green finally pop up there. But he does have DRS, and it's all going to be dependent on whether Abhi can actually break out of his DRS straight. But with 90% overtake with Wilster, it seems very, very unlikely. And
So we have Apartman getting another.
is
Is that
there
a glitch?
did we get a VS?
No, there is no VS.
I think that was a glitch actually.
Yeah,
I think probably his earlier penalty showed up right now.
Yeah.
Piyush Gandhi is running really clean right now, but he is out of contention for P2 right now, P2 right now, provided unless Abhi gets another penalty, but definitely looking really close right now. But right now, with Wilster breaking down the back of Abhi, it's going to be definitely quite interesting. But of course, Wilster doesn't have to do anything right now. To get,
Madhav in P5 closing in on Rambo.
but
When he overtook Soham Day, he had a 7-second gap because he brought it down very quickly in P.
yeah, but let's not forget Rambo is also on fresh softs, and it's going to be quite a challenge for Madhav to overtake him at this point.
Very much.
Pushing for Nirma now right now on the back of other then using his overtake. Will he go for the move? Let's see. But as Abarpen outbreaks himself, but will Nirma be able to get the move done? Thinks about it. Abarpen leaves some space on the outside, but then comes back onto the track. There's a bit of tap. Ooh, and as Abarpen goes really deep into the corner due to that tap, and as we say that, Abarpen stays ahead, but this is going to be a very easy move for Nirma with those fresh softs and DRS into the track, and with the clock ticking down every second, every lap that Nirma is stuck behind our pen, that's time lost for him.
Nirma's very lucky to get away with no damage left. Could have easily been a yellow or light green wheel.
As Nirma does now get ahead of Abarpen, and is now
I
into P10.
sometimes seriously don't understand the camera choice that Cody's gives us.
Yep, absolutely. Like it's somehow it's. I think even in real life F1, I would probably say that yeah, it's not really good camera angles, if I should say so myself.
Madhav has fallen back to 2 seconds behind Rambo. He had a moment somewhere in the previous lap.
I think,
Yes,
but I've seen Rambo gain 2 seconds to Pierce Gandhi as well, so I'm betting it more on the softs rather than the.
Yeah, I feel that by the end of this
Yeah.
race, Rambo might be on the tail of Piyush Gandhi,
2 seconds a
but
lap.
he has that penalty as well.
Not 2 to 2.5 seconds a lap seems quite surprising.
Yeah, like maybe for the next 3 laps he will be able to do that, but maybe not after that.
Yep.
Uh,
Abhi not being able to pull away from Wilster, Wilster still only a 0.4 of a second behind.
Let's also not forget that Abhi is on slightly more worn tires, and you can see his friend left is now slowly degrading quite a lot.
what do you guys see in the times that these people are doing?
It's respectable, I think. They're doing around 34, low 35s. I think that's around not 5 to 6 tenths of what we were doing as in yesterday's race. So it's a really respectable time. So, if these people were moved on to tier 1, they would be in the fringes of the points, I would say.
Yep. Pretty agree.
I'm not sure why Wilster is just holding back his ERS.
I mean, I think he would love to take P1 on track instead of just over penalties. But still.
The Alpha
He's
Tauri is
very
thinking about it, but then backing out.
Yeah, but I think we should, at the bunch, you are an admin, so we should maybe change Wilster's name to ERS Whisperer.
Probably, like, if I was in that position, if I was seeing, the lead right there within 2 tenths of my time, I would just be like, full on ERS deployment.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's very true.
Okay, so Seth Kulkarni has now caught up to the back of his teammate, and I think there should be a move. Will there be AlphaTauri team orders? Although I do know that these people are not in the same PC, but let's see how it goes as they cross the line.
Yeah, there was a slight bit of mishap that already happened in second sector. So I think that BK19 should just know that his teammate is on a much better, much fresher tire and just let him by.
Yep, him in the he's in the number 69 AlphaTauri, and as he says that, the number 69 AlphaTauri or the Seth Kulkarni's AlphaTauri does get past the P8 with Alpha now in P8, P9. Doing a respectable job, I think, replacing Chris by in tier 2.
Yep, points finish in his first race, not bad at all. That's if he keeps it on track for 5 more laps. Hopefully I don't jinx it.
Commentator's curse is a very big curse,
Yeah, I think we haven't cursed anyone so far. So it's good.
I think the
So far,
probably
no
the
one's been
curse is
cursed.
lifted.
Yep. I'm not sure. I think this race is going to look completely different once
Thermo has
results come out.
retired
Yeah. Homo retiring. What happened there?
on the start-finish straight. Probably lost his car there.
As Harry Rocks now comes
Because
into the pits. And who is it?
just a sector one yellow flag.
I'm not sure what's happened. I think Harry Rock is into the pits to retire. Or could be going for a fastest lap.
He's going
Piyush Gandhi is now 13 seconds off. Wilson is now consolidating his P1 position given that he does not have to do anything, but a really clean drive from Piyush Gandhi. We have Rambo in P4 right now. Looking really good. But his gap seems to... I think the soft advantage has now fallen off as Charlotte is now catching him up, and he does not seem to be catching Piyush a lot. But Sid Kulkarni on those fresh softs, now on the charge. Soham plays out of ERS, but so does Sid Kulkarni does not have ERS. But he's going to get much better grip. Soham hugs the inside.
Breaks very late indeed.
Soham hugs the inside, but I think that ultimately compromised him into the lane. He gets that move done. That's some really good racing from both the two, but Soham has a look on the inside, but does not think about it. But but this has not helped Soham a lot because this has now placed him under attack with PK19.
Yep.
Seems the hards are now coming and the mediums are wearing off, and the fact that Soham does not is low on ERS is also not helping him any bit.
Weekend doing a very good job on those 17 laps of hard tires, considering what happened to him on lap 1.
Yep, absolutely.
Very good drive indeed to end up P9. Should be
I'm
getting P8.
not sure why BK19 is using overtake on the corners, but it's giving him the position, so who am I to complain?
Very risky indeed.
So the Alpha seems to be now on a combined charge. We can see that Soham plays rear tire. He does have wing damage as well, so I think he picked up a bit of wing damage in that battle with Soham. So, yep. Upper pen,
They have a pretty hard train going on here.
Yep. Nirma has fallen to the point. You guys have noticed.
Yep, Nirma lost her position to Rebel. That's
Does he have a wing damage?
He does not, but Rebel seems to be looking much quicker at this point.
Yeah.
because
So is
Nirma's
Abarpan
pace
on the
is-
mediums.
I've been really measuring that gap really well on the keyboard, but I think Nirma has more ERS to play with right now and is able to out traction him. Sorry, out drag him.
Nirma's pace was much better on the mediums. I don't know what's happening to his pace in the softs as he's losing out to medium runners right now.
Yeah, I think that has happened.
Ooh, and he hits the rear wheel of Abarpan and goes spinning. Lucky enough to not lose his wing, but yeah, that's a very risky place to make a move.
We have Electrip as well, we have both the Mercedes. I think it's been a running theme when these two have raced, where basically they have like these stellar races start, like they qualify really well, but then they have incidents and they fall back out of the point. So I think in terms of like the team that hasn't delivered, it's Mercedes this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember in Australia they were running I think P3, P4 at one point and then ultimately crashed out.
Probably the tier 1 counterparts should sit with these folks and have a chat regarding what is going on.
Let me think. Oh yeah, the tier 1 counterpart of course, Very Quick Smith and Abi Ferrell.
Toto will definitely not be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, Electrip also seems to be looking to be good on a charge. And I think he can get the move done, but I think very little chances of him. And as you said, Harry Rocks did set the pass level 33-6. And Vortex, interestingly, is now all the way down in P15. So, very bad race for him. Charlotte right now in P5, looking quite comfortable right now. Let's have a look at the penalties and open the gap. We can have a look at the things reflecting natively.
We're very close to part there as Washington very close to spinning out again.
Ugly 17 and Upper Friend sitting with the king of the penalties right now. Since he's king of the penalties right now. So it's a scene that Washington and Nirma will get to P11. But looking at the penalties, given that Nirma is running very clean, if he can close the gap to Rebel, it's quite possible he can still end up in the points.
Yep.
Monk looking good.
Okay, we are back online with another power cut. So yeah, one thing we learned today: power cuts are not reliable, and my inverter needs a change.
Yep.
Yep. As the stream loads back in, we have Vistaji finishing in P1 and Abdi crossing the line in P1, but because of penalties, falling back to P2. And I think Piyush Gandhi should get P3, but let's wait for everyone to cross the line and after penalties are applied, see what the final standings are. As yes, Piyush Gandhi is P3. Rambo with a Rambo with a great drive, finishing P4, gaining 9 positions, having pulled off the medium soft effectively.
So I have a
Shalala.
question for you guys. I'm not sure why Deepak Raj got driver of the day for me, but yeah, I have a question. Did Wilstredji use his ERS?
No, he did
He
not.
ended with 70 or 80%, so he did not.
That will be the one question that I guess everyone will be asking. Why no
Yeah.
ERS usage?
I mean, yes, I get the point that the good driver in front has 9 seconds, but don't you want to finish P1 on the line? I mean, I would want to.
Yeah, for
But yes,
sure.
in the end,
Even
the points are what matters, and he's taking home 25 points here. And be with 18. On my screen, it says Rambo's driver there, which is rightly so. He should get it. I don't know why
Yep.
Deepak Raj was given driver of the day.
Yep. I think something might have happened because he joined at the last minute.
yeah, probably. For me, since I joined this session in the last moment, so something might have happened.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, for me, this Deepak Raj is 7th and Turbo is 6th, so yeah, it's fully messed up for me.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Okay. So let's bring let me get the current commentators, the voting features into the lobby right now.
Yeah, and if you have a screenshot of the final finishers, you can send it over so that we can at least talk about who finished where, and let our
Uh,
audience know as well.
Eccentric, if you can.
Yep, I have it on screen right now.
Okay, let me drag them in. Hello, folks. So we have our 3 podium finishers for today with us. Dipanshu, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So we have our 2 podium finishers today with us here, and so guys, so talking with Piyush Gandhi right now. Piyush, you had a really clean race. I think you did not get any penalties. So like very like purposefully trying to avoid penalties and driving under the limit, or were you trying to make sure? Or do you think it's that you knew the track limit so well that you were able to stay out of penalties?
No, I actually I had a race before here as well, and I spun a lot. So I decided this time just to take it easy and just not get any penalties. Abhi had 9 seconds of penalty, but unfortunately it was really quick, so I couldn't do anything about that. But it was just about racing it clean and yeah.
A really great race from you. I think you started P6 and was able to come all the way up to P7, I believe, P3, I believe. So like a really good race from you. Now moving
Thank you.
on to man in P2, Abhi17, you seem to have had the pace. I think both you and Wilster were very close in pace, but at the end penalties ultimately lost you the win. So, what do you think you could have done better in this race? And I think with this you would also be getting quite a lot of ground on the constructors and drivers championship. So, how do you think your race went, and what do you think you could have done better?
Could have been better, considering that we had the pace. We definitely had the pace. It's just the penalties that put us down. If not for the penalties, we could have, we would have tried for P1. We could have got P1. In fact, I knew Wilson wasn't pushing. He knew I had penalties.
Yep.
But this is good for Ferrari. Yeah, so I'll take it.
I think you kind of like your strategy kind of got messed up when like you came just behind Monk, I believe. I mean, on your pit exit, I believe.
Yeah, I lost. I just got in with the traffic, and yeah, it was a bit unlucky. It was unfortunate.
Yep. Anyway, congrats to you on P2 and a really great try from you. Now coming on to Wilster, I think is this your first win, Wilster? I believe.
Yes, yes.
Completely. Congrats to you. I think you are now,
Thank
and
you.
I think you are the ninth race winner in IRC this season, I believe. And I think the question that both the Banshu and Eccentric wants to ask you is, why were you not using your ERS?
In fact, everyone on YouTube also wants to know why no ERS usage.
I thought since Abhi had time penalties, I thought fighting him would always lose me time, and being behind him and going for an overtake and putting him under pressure and we both making mistakes would lose the race to us. So it was like a safe, and if I went for an overtake, still I had some backup ERS.
Oh, okay, but I was surprised by when like Abhi boxed ahead of you, and we were surprised that you didn't use your ERS at that point in time to gain time on him.
I did, but it wasn't much.
Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. Right. Yep, anyway, great drive from you. I think ever since you got your permanent seat, you have been putting some really good drives. So absolutely
Thank
great
you.
from you. Yep.
Way to go,
Like
Wilster.
I think you guys kind of like. I think you guys had some fun with Abhi and Wilster, but I think Abhi, you did have a slight moment with Wilster as well. I believe in lap one.
Uh, yeah, we were. He had a better start, and we were side by side in the first turn. Yeah, I was in the outside, and I was in this side. I think we did make contact, but no major damage, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's great. That's great to know. Of course, we like to see close but clean racing that where we don't lose position, and I think you guys really did try to keep it clean with some really. Both of you showed some really good racecraft, and since we did have a stream, we did have a small interruption in the stream. I'll go through the results right now. So we have Pilser in P1, we have Abhi in P2, we have Piyush Gandhi in P3, followed by Rambo, followed by Shmadhav, then followed by Sid Kulkarni, BK19, Captain Cheesecake, Soham Day, Washing Powder Nirma, Rebel, Electrip, Abarpen, Monk, followed by I think Kaushik, Dawn, and Harry Rocks finishing the top results, and the result was DNFing. Of course, we will put out the full results in Instagram, which will give the final results once we go through our go through the stream and determine, since we did have some disconnections. But either way, a really great drive. And is there anything else my commentators would like to add to the race?
No, nothing. You just about covered everything.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think
Nothing
that's
much from my side as well. Small minor hiccups in today's stream, probably, because of the power cut. So, but anyways, nevertheless, a great race, great drive by all three of our podium finishers. Do
tune in.
so
Do
yeah,
with
words are not coming out of my
so
mouth. So
so
nevertheless, so next week, do come along for our tier 1 and tier 2 race at the same we will be heading on for a break next week, but we will be back on 2nd of Jan with our tier 1 race at the very own circuit of Suzuka in Japan, and that will be a very fun race to be seen.
Yep, we have it's a driver's track, of course, and we have some fun content that is being planned for the that is being planned for next week in the 2 week break, and I think you guys should leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy that content. And
Yep.
that's it for today. Signing off.